Ross, dress for less. The name alone is basically a promise. Dress for less, spend less, save more. And for millions of Americans, it's become a weekly ritual. You walk in looking for one thing, you spend 45 minutes wandering the aisles, and you walk out with a cart full of stuff you didn't plan on buying, convinced you just saved a fortune. But here's the question nobody stops to ask. Did you actually save money? Or did Ross save money by getting you to spend it? Today, we're going to answer that question honestly. No fluff, no sponsored messaging, no cheerleading for a brand. Just the real pros, the real cons, and the strategies that will help you walk out of Ross having genuinely won, instead of just feeling like you did. We're going to cover 5 genuine, legitimate reasons Ross can be an incredible tool for the frugal shopper, and then 5 very real, very specific ways Ross is quietly working against you if you don't know what to watch out for. And at the end, I'm going to give you a Ross shopping framework that will completely change how you approach the store. Let's get into it. The pros. Pro number 1. The deals are sometimes genuinely extraordinary. Let's start here, because Ross deserves real credit for this. The discount retail model, buying overstock, closeout merchandise, and end-of-season inventory from major brands at deeply reduced wholesale prices is a legitimate mechanism for passing real savings on to consumers. And sometimes, it works spectacularly. Name brand kitchenware, All-Clad, Cuisinart, KitchenAid, shows up at Ross for 40 to 60% off retail. High-quality bed linens from brands that sell for $80 a set at department stores appear on Ross shelves for $19.99. Name brand athletic shoes from Nike, New Balance, and Under Armour surface regularly at $20 to $35 below what you'd pay anywhere else. These deals are real. They happen consistently. And for a shopper who knows what things are actually worth, who walks in with price benchmarks already loaded in their head, Ross can be a genuinely powerful place to stretch a dollar. The key word there is knows what things are worth. We're coming back to that. Pro number 2. Home goods and decor are where Ross wins the hardest. If you furnish and decorate your home on a budget, Ross's home goods section is arguably the best value in American retail for certain categories. Picture frames, throw pillows, candles, rugs, curtains, storage baskets, decorative bowls. These items are routinely priced 50 to 70% below what you'd pay at Target, Home Goods, or Bed Bath & Beyond. And here's a key insight that most Ross shoppers don't fully appreciate. The home goods section replenishes constantly, and the inventory is regional. What's on the shelf at your Ross today will not be there next week. That creates genuine urgency around good finds. But it also means that if you visit regularly without a specific need, you're going to keep finding things you want to buy. We'll come back to why that's a double-edged sword in the cons section. Quick money. Tip. Before you buy any home goods or kitchenware at Ross, pull up Amazon or Target on your phone right there in the aisle and check the current price. Ross's compare at tags are not always accurate. Sometimes the item is priced comparably elsewhere. Sometimes it's actually cheaper online. Verify before you assume it's a deal. PRO number 3. Brand name clothing at real discounts. If you're patient, Ross's clothing section is chaotic. The sizing is mixed, the organization is loose, and you will dig through a lot of misses to find the hits. But if you're patient and you have flexible taste, meaning you're not hunting for a specific item in a specific color in a specific size, the clothing deals can be genuinely impressive. Tommy Hilfiger polos for $12, Calvin Klein dress shirts for $16, Columbia jackets for $35. These aren't knockoffs or factory seconds. They're legitimate overstock and closeout items from real brands. For someone who dresses primarily from Ross with patience and a good eye, the annual clothing savings versus buying retail can run into the hundreds of dollars. The patience part is non-negotiable, though. Shoppers who go to Ross looking for a specific thing almost always leave either empty-handed or having bought something that wasn't quite right. Shoppers who go to Ross with flexible intentions and a willingness to hunt almost always find something worth buying. Stay with me, because pro number 4 covers something that Ross almost never gets credit for, and it's one of the most underrated advantages of the store for a specific type of shopper. Pro number 4, Ross is a goldmine for kids' clothing and basics. This is the one that parents on a budget need to hear loudly and clearly. Children's clothing at Ross is some of the best value in the entire store. Kids brands like Carter's, Oshkosh, and various athletic brands appear regularly at 50 to 70% below retail. And for clothes that a growing child will wear for one season before outgrowing anyway, paying $4 for a Carter's shirt instead of $14 makes enormous financial sense. The same logic applies to basics. Plain t-shirts, socks, underwear, workout clothes. These are items where brand prestige matters very little, and where Ross's pricing can genuinely beat even the value retailers like Old Navy and H&M on a per-item basis. For a family with 2 or 3 kids, buying children's basics and seasonal clothing primarily from Ross versus mid-tier retail could realistically save $400 to $600 per year. That's not a trivial number. Surprising fact, Americans spend an average of $1,700 per year on clothing. Families with children aged 2 to 12 spend significantly more. Shifting even 40% of that spending to discount retailers like Ross with a disciplined, list-based approach can save $400 to $700 annually with no meaningful reduction in clothing quality. Pro number 5. Seasonal and gift items at dramatically reduced prices. Holiday decor, gift wrap, seasonal kitchenware, scented candles, picture frames for gifting, travel accessories. These are categories where Ross consistently delivers prices that are hard to beat anywhere else. If you do a significant amount of gift giving throughout the year, birthdays, holidays, housewarmings, teacher gifts, and you're willing to plan slightly ahead rather than panic buying at full retail the week before an event, Ross can save you a genuinely meaningful amount of money on gifts. A candle set that retails for $28 at a department store. A leather look journal set for $8 that would run $22 at Barnes & Noble. A quality picture frame for $6 that would be $18 at Target. These aren't unicorn finds. They're the consistent, reliable reality of Ross's gift and seasonal section. The strategy here is building a gift drawer or gift closet. When you find genuinely good gift items at Ross prices, buy 2 or 3. Store them. Stop paying full retail for last-minute gifts forever. Okay, that's 5 real legitimate reasons Ross can be an exceptional tool for the frugal shopper. Now let's talk about the other side, because this is where things get uncomfortable. Con number 2 is the one that most Ross shoppers genuinely do not see coming, and it's costing them more than they realize. The cons. Con number 1. The compare at tag is doing a lot of dishonest work. Let's start with the most fundamental issue, the one that affects every single purchase decision you make inside that store. That red compare at tag. The one that says the item is worth $49.99, but you're only paying $16.99. That feeling of saving $33 on a single item is the engine that powers the entire Ross shopping experience. Here's the problem. The compare at price is not always an accurate reflection of what you would actually pay for that item elsewhere. The Federal Trade Commission has guidelines around comparative pricing. The was or compare at price is supposed to reflect a price at which the item was actually sold recently and in good faith. But in practice, many discount retailers, not just Ross, apply these comparison prices loosely. Items that were technically sold at the higher price somewhere, briefly in limited quantities, get tagged with that price as a permanent reference point. The result? You feel like you're saving $33. You might actually be saving $8. And the emotional high of that $33 saving is what keeps you in the store, keeps you picking up items, and keeps you at the register with more in your cart than you intended. The frugal defense. Price check on the spot. Always. Without exception. Pull out your phone, search the exact item or a close equivalent, and find out what you would actually pay elsewhere. Do this every single time until it becomes automatic. Con number 2. Ross is expertly engineered to make you overspend. This is the one that catches people off guard because Ross doesn't look like a sophisticated retail environment. It looks a little chaotic, honestly. The racks aren't perfectly organized, the sizing is mixed, the lighting is functional rather than glamorous, and that chaos is part of the design. Retail psychologists have a term for what Ross creates, a treasure hunt environment. The unpredictability of the inventory, the sense that what you're looking at right now might be gone tomorrow, the thrill of finding something unexpectedly. These are powerful psychological triggers that bypass rational spending decisions and activate something more emotional, more impulsive. Ross shoppers frequently report buying items they didn't need and didn't plan on. Purely because the item was there, it was a good price, and the treasure hunt dopamine hit made the purchase feel urgent. The store's layout, wide aisles designed for cart traffic, merchandise displays that encourage browsing rather than targeted. Shopping, the sheer volume of inventory. All of this is deliberately constructed to maximize time in store and items in cart. The average Ross shopper spends $40 to $60 per visit. If you're visiting twice a month and walking out with $50 in unplanned purchases each time, that's $1,200 a year in spending that felt like saving. The frugal defense. Never walk into Ross without a list. Write down specifically what you need before you go. Give yourself permission to look, but not to buy anything that isn't on the list or that doesn't replace something you already intended to purchase. Quick money. Tip. Leave your credit card in the car when you shop at Ross. Bring cash in the exact amount of your budgeted spend. Physical cash triggers more deliberate spending decisions than swiping a card. It's one of the most well-documented findings in consumer psychology research. Con number 3. Quality control is genuinely inconsistent. Here's a reality of the discount retail model that the cheerful store signage never mentions. Not everything at Ross is there because it was great merchandise that didn't sell fast enough. Some of it is there because it had quality issues that made it unsellable through primary retail channels. Clothing with subtle stitching defects, electronics with cosmetic damage, kitchenware with minor manufacturing flaws, shoes with mismatched sizing. These items are technically functional and technically discounted, but the discount isn't pure savings. It's partial compensation for a product that isn't quite right. The problem is that in the fast-moving, chaotic Ross environment, where you're digging through racks and making quick decisions, it's easy to miss the defect that becomes obvious the first time you wash the shirt or use the pan. And Ross's return policy, while generally reasonable, requires you to actually notice the problem and make a separate trip back. The frugal defense. Inspect every single item before it goes in your cart. Check stitching on clothing. Check for scratches and damage on home goods and electronics. Check that zippers work and buttons are secure. Take 30 extra seconds per item. It will save you the frustration and wasted trip of a return. Con number 4 is the one that's going to make you rethink every electronics and small appliance purchase you've ever made at Ross. This is important. Con number 4. Electronics and appliances at Ross are a trap for most shoppers. The small electronics section at Ross, the Bluetooth speakers, phone chargers, earbuds, small kitchen appliances, alarm clocks, LED light strips, looks like an amazing deal. Branded-looking products at prices 50 to 70% below what you'd expect at Best Buy or Target. Here's what that section actually contains in many cases. Off-brand and lesser-known brand products using the same discount retail pricing psychology to make themselves appear to be deals. A Bluetooth speaker that compares at $49.99 but costs $14.99 might be a genuinely good find, or it might be a no-name product with a 6-month lifespan that was never worth $49.99 anywhere. The small appliances are particularly risky. Toasters, coffee makers, and hand mixers at Ross are often brands with virtually no repair support, no replacement parts availability, and warranty processes that are difficult or impossible to actually execute. When the $18 toaster breaks after 8 months, there's no customer service to call. You just buy another $18 toaster. The long-term cost of repeatedly replacing cheap, low-quality small appliances frequently exceeds the one-time cost of buying a quality appliance at full retail and having it last a decade. The frugal defense. At Ross, buy clothing, home decor, bedding, towels, and kitchenware from recognizable brands. Be deeply skeptical of electronics, small appliances, and anything tech adjacent. For those categories, stick to established brands with real warranty support, whether you buy them at Ross or elsewhere. Con number 5. The hidden cost of it was such a good deal thinking. This is the most psychologically subtle con on the list, and the most expensive one for many shoppers over time. The fundamental math of discount shopping only works in your favor when you're buying things you actually need, at prices genuinely below what you'd pay elsewhere. The moment you start buying things because they're cheap rather than because you need them, you've flipped the equation. You're not saving money. You're spending money you wouldn't have spent at all at a slightly lower price per unit. A $12 blouse you didn't need is not a $12 saving on a $30 blouse. It's a $12 expense that didn't exist before you walked into that store. Multiply that by every what a deal impulse purchase across a year of regular Ross visits, and the number can be genuinely startling. This is the deepest and most honest critique of Ross. And frankly, of most discount retail. The stores are not designed to help you spend less money. They're designed to help you spend the same amount of money, or more, while feeling better about each individual transaction. The frugal defense. Before any unplanned purchase at Ross, ask yourself one question. Would I have driven to a store today specifically to buy this if it weren't right here in front of me right now? If the answer is no, put it back. Surprising fact. Research on discount retail shopping consistently shows that the average consumer spends more per month after they begin regularly shopping at discount stores. Not less, because the psychological satisfaction of individual deals lowers spending inhibition across all retail contexts. The deal high is real, and it's expensive. The Ross Shopping Framework. How to actually win. All right, 5 genuine pros, 5 very real cons. Now here's how you use that information practically. Ross is a powerful tool for the frugal shopper, but only when used with intention. Here's the framework that changes everything. First, go in with a list and a budget, every time. No exceptions. Know what you need before you walk through the door, and know the maximum you're willing to spend. Second, know your prices before you shop. Spend 5 minutes before your trip quickly benchmarking the prices of whatever you're looking for. When you see the Compare At tag, you'll know immediately whether it's real savings or retail theater. Third, buy need, not deal. The question is never, is this a good price? The question is, do I need this? A good price on something you don't need is just a more pleasant way to waste money. Fourth, inspect everything before the cart. Check quality, check for defects, check that it works. 30 seconds of inspection per item saves you a return trip and the frustration of a product that disappoints. And fifth, trust the categories that consistently win at Ross. Kids clothing, home decor, name brand bedding and towels, name brand, adult clothing if you're patient, and gift items. Be skeptical of electronics, small appliances, and anything where the brand name on the tag is unfamiliar. Follow those 5 rules and Ross genuinely becomes what it promises to be. A place where you dress for less, furnish for less, and keep significantly more of your money. There it is. The honest, unsponsored, no-fluff truth about Ross Dress for Less. It can be one of the best tools in a frugal shopper's arsenal. Or it can be a very cleverly designed machine for extracting money from people who think they're saving it. The difference is almost entirely in how you walk through the door. Walk in with intention, a list, and benchmarked prices. And Ross works for you. Walk in bored on a Saturday, looking to browse. And Ross works against you. If this gave you a genuinely new way to think about your shopping habits, I'd love it if you hit the like button. It makes a real difference for this channel. And share this one with someone you know who lives for a Ross run. It might just save them a few $100s a year. Subscribe to Frugal Living if you're not already with us. Every week, we're breaking down the stores, the products, the habits, and the industries that affect your budget, and giving you the real information you need to come out ahead. I'll see you in the next one. Stay smart, stay frugal,